Alrighty, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster coming back here once again. I'm here to talk to you guys about the next 3 days across the natural state here. A lot of severe weather potential on the table. So if you're new here, give us a like and follow. Share this live stream with your family and friends so they can stay with us throughout the next 3 days here. Okay, so we're going to talk about Monday first here. I know you guys saw that graphic on the page just about an hour ago. We do have an update from the Storm Prediction Center. They did keep the slight risk across the natural state, but I want to talk to you guys about this slight risk because there's been a couple of changes with their wording. They're really concerned about the potential of tornadoes as we get towards tomorrow here. The problem with going enhanced for tomorrow is there's a lot of computer model differences right now in terms of location. Some of them have them here in central Arkansas, while others have it in other areas of the natural state or in northeast Texas, etc. So there's a lot of computer model differences right now to go enhanced. However, they are saying the environment is very conducive for the potential of seeing tornadoes, very large hail, and also the potential of damaging winds. But tomorrow's risk, given how isolated the cells are going to be, I'm really concerned about the tornado and hail threat more than I am the damaging wind threat. And then we will talk about Tuesday and Wednesday's threat here. Okay, so this is what you see at this point, guys. This is the current slight risk for much of Arkansas. This is from Fayetteville to Mena, down towards Texarkana to Camden, over to West Helena, over to Memphis, up towards Jonesboro at this point here, okay? And then you have your marginal risk, far northwestern Arkansas, and then southern Arkansas and far southeastern Arkansas at this point here, okay? So that was actually the tornado outlook here. Let me go back over to the categorical risk area. So this is actually the categorical risk. So the risk you see on the screen right now is the tornado risk. That was the tornado risk, the low risk for much of Arkansas here. This is the actual slight risk area for this area here. For some reason, the graphic decided to mess up with me. So the slight risk actually goes down to southwestern Arkansas at this point. Then you have your marginal risk over here in southeastern Arkansas, and then your marginal risk up there in northwestern Arkansas here. But you saw the tornado risk, okay, the 5% for much of the natural state at this point. Also, I want to talk to you guys about this as well. This is going to be the significant hail potential. This is for very large hail, 2-inch hail plus in diameter with this, especially in this hatched area that goes from Fayetteville over towards Searcy, down towards, I would say, just northwest of Pine Bluff, down to Texarkana. That's much of western and central Arkansas at this point. So this area you see in the hatched area, that's the area of concern for the potential of seeing significant hail as we get towards tomorrow here. So that potential is on the table, and also the potential of seeing tornadoes and that damaging wind potential as well here. But that tornado and hail threat appears to be a little greater tomorrow than your damaging wind outlook, because you're dealing with supercells versus the squall line that's going to be coming through. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind here across this area. We are going to go about timing here just a bit as well. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all for being here at this point here. Okay, so I'm going to back this up for just a second. I'm going to talk to you guys about Tuesday as well here. Okay, so there's been some changes with this, by the way. But for Tuesday's risk, there's more of the same here. The risk for Tuesday, there's a slight risk for eastern Arkansas, and in northeastern Arkansas, there's a marginal risk up there. But you get the drift on Tuesday at this point. Let me see if I can get that graphic to kind of upload with me for just a second here. But you get the drift for Tuesday. Keep that in mind that we are going to have to watch on Tuesday for that potential tornadoes, damaging winds, and that hail threat on Tuesday as well. Now, I will say on Tuesday it's going to be kind of a little bit of a lull in the period, given the fact that we will have that the bigger risk kind of to the west of us. However, I still would not let your guard down for that Tuesday time frame here. So we're going to go over to Tuesday real quick. Okay, so this is the updated Tuesday's graphic here. So much of the area in the slight risk, and then far northeastern Arkansas in the marginal risk here. So just kind of keep that in mind. There are some uncertainties on the thunderstorms developing, and will it last throughout the overnight hours, or will it last in the first thing Wednesday morning? There's still a little bit of uncertainty with that. But this risk includes all of Arkansas, okay? Large hail, couple of tornadoes, and the damaging wind threat will be there as we get towards Tuesday. And then Wednesday. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a couple of things about Wednesday. First of all, do not be shocked if Wednesday goes moderate with the day 3 that's going to come out tonight. Don't be shocked about that at all. The potential of significant severe weather is on the table for Wednesday, okay? The next 2 days are going to be sneaky threats. You know, you may get an enhanced risk tomorrow, or you may get an enhanced risk on Tuesday just because of the environment. All right, but the biggest threat is still on Wednesday here. But do not let your guard down for the next 2 days here. Don't focus on just Wednesday. You got to go through Monday and Tuesday first, okay? But the entire state, except for far northwestern Arkansas, is in the enhanced risk for seeing the potential of seeing severe weather. Tornadoes, large to very large hail, and damaging winds will be the main threat on Wednesday, guys. Do not let your guard down on Wednesday. Keep that in mind. The timing is going to be mainly after 12 o'clock on Wednesday at this point, okay? So keep that in mind. Tuesday, tomorrow and Tuesday's stretch is going to be 5, 6 p.m. because we got to wait for daytime heating to initiate storms along the dry line, and they're going to start pushing east. However, on Wednesday, with the entire system coming our way, that's when you're going to have the main threat. It's going to be starting right around lunchtime, especially in western Arkansas. Then it's going to make its way through the natural state by the time we get towards the afternoon and into the evening hours here, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about timing. We'll show you guys a couple of key meteorological guidance here, and then I'm going to answer some questions at this point here. I've gone over all the information at this point. All the information, by the way, is on the page at this current time here, guys, so just got to keep that in mind here. But I'm going to go over timing for just a second. I did not mean to pull up a sounding. And then while I'm going over timing, after I get done with that, I'm going to answer everybody's questions, because I know there's a lot of people worried about tomorrow in particular here. So what's going to happen is later on today, by the way, we do have a risk up there in northwestern Arkansas today. Very, very low threat, guys. I mean, you may not see a storm up there in northwestern Arkansas tonight here. Majority of that's going to be up in Missouri and northeastern Oklahoma here. Now, keep this in mind as we get towards tomorrow. Much of the day, it will be quiet, okay? Much of the day on tomorrow will be completely quiet across the natural state here, okay? So just keep that in mind. The development will not take place till after 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. So much of the day tomorrow is going to be more than likely sunny across the natural state here. Very, very warm. Dew points surging into the 60s and low 70s. Everything will be in place by the time we get towards tomorrow afternoon here, okay? And then you can see by the time we get towards 6 p.m. over here, there's your supercell development over here near Russellville, near I-40. This is right around 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, okay? So keep that in mind. This is the area that we're going to have to watch for those supercell developments as we get towards tomorrow. Now, as we get towards 7 o'clock, you can see it really takes off across the area here. Now, if you go with the HRR, pretty decent severe weather event for us here in Arkansas here. Multiple areas of supercells, and you can see how the HR is doing a really good job of trying to hook these storms because the environment that's going to be in place for tomorrow here. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's right here along the boundary. Your area of low pressure is going to be out here. Boundary is going to be setting up just like this, okay? So that's going to be setting up much of central Arkansas for tomorrow here. I'm really concerned about the potential for tomorrow here. So if you need that timing information, this is the time to listen to us right now, guys, here. But this is going to be right around 5 to 6 p.m. tomorrow, and then into the evening, possibly in the overnight, but I think it should be wrapping up by the time we get towards the overnight hours here. And then you can see by the time we get towards 8 o'clock, widespread areas, showers and thunderstorms here, guys. The tornado potential will be there. The very large hail threat will be there as well. This is the main reason why I'm not worried about the damaging winds as much, because of the fact that these cells are by themselves, okay? So this is right around 8 p.m. tomorrow evening, okay? This is a lot of shower thunderstorm activity across central Arkansas, northern Arkansas, and into eastern Arkansas here. And you can see by 9 o'clock, the shower thunderstorms will start to die off. However, you still would have to watch for the hail threat. You still would have to watch for the tornado threat as you get towards the early evening hours here. And then you can see right on the boundary, okay? That's 10, 11, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. There's still some showers, thunderstorms across this area here. You will have to watch out for a localized flooding potential if this were to verify. But still, I would say just kind of keep that in mind here. Also, and I saw that question, by the way, I think I think the HR is handling this a little more better than High-Risk NAM and the others right now here. I think the HR is taking advantage of the environment that's in place versus the High-Risk NAM at this point here. So that's usually I'm more HR versus High-Risk NAM at this time here, okay? But you can see where your boundary is at this point. A lot of shower thunderstorm activity across this area here, and then it should be wrapping up by the time we get towards the overnight hours here, setting us up for Tuesday's threat here. So except for these storms, they're going to develop tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, and then the overnight hours, the thunderstorms should be wrapping up by that point, and then the atmosphere will kind of go into reset mode for Tuesday afternoon and the Tuesday evening threat here across the natural state at this point. Okay, I'm going to show you dew points as well. And I said before, right on that boundary, that's going to be setting up right there in north central Arkansas. Anywhere along and south of that boundary is where you're going to have that best tornado potential as we get towards tomorrow here. Okay, so let this load up. This should be coming up here shortly here. By the way, a lot of wind today, by the way. We're near 80 degrees here in the weather center. Wind gusts right now about 25 miles per hour here in Little Rock here. But you can see what happens throughout the tonight into tomorrow here. A lot of moisture comes in. You're going to walk outside tomorrow morning. It's not going to feel too bad humidity wise, but as soon as you get off of work tomorrow afternoon, the humidity is really going to be there across the area. And then your dry lines back out here towards the west, boundaries here, a lot of moisture in place. Look at dew points, by the way, upper 60s, low 70s, guys. Just a perfect environment for seeing severe weather across the board as we get towards tomorrow here. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind for tomorrow, guys. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the other computer model, guys, to try to see if we get an enhanced risk kind of pushed out from this. But guys, but don't, if it don't go enhanced risk, still don't let your guard down. I think this is going to be a really solid slight risk across the natural state. Can easily go enhanced. I mean, you can easily go enhanced. The problem is the other computer model guys are not showing any sort of shower or thunderstorm development here. But you go with the HRR, man, it's got the showers, thunderstorms crazy across the area, and all of these are supercells, by the way, capable of very large hail and that tornado threat as we get towards tomorrow. Okay, now what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and switch this over to Tuesday's threat, and while I'm doing that, by the way, I'm going to answer some questions here. Okay, so what about Mount Hope? And I'm going to tell you guys this now while I have all y'all in this live stream. City and county questions. Everybody's in the same boat over the next 3 days. Everybody's in the same boat, no matter where you are in the natural state. Everybody's going to be in the same boat. Monday and Tuesday is going to be where does the thunderstorms develop across the area. Okay. Wednesday, everybody's in the boat. Everybody's in the same boat as northern Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas, central, western, southern. Everybody's in the same boat at this point. Okay. Be prepared for severe weather. If you don't see it on Monday, then you got to watch Tuesday. If you don't see it on Tuesday, then you'll see it on Wednesday. Okay, but everybody will have a chance of seeing severe weather over the next 3 days, guys. Okay, everybody's in the same boat. No matter where you are across the natural state, everybody's going to be in the same boat at this point here. Okay, so just keep that in mind here. Let me see here. Nope. If you guys are just now tuning in, you really haven't missed much. I was talking to you guys about the Monday time frame here that we'll have to watch for that potential. Mainly across central Arkansas and into northeastern Arkansas as we get towards tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and into tomorrow night here, okay? But just keep that in mind if y'all have city and county questions, because everybody's going to be in the same boat for tomorrow here. Everybody's in the same boat for seeing the potential of seeing severe weather here, okay? So here we go as we get towards Tuesday here, okay? So area of low pressure, 999 millibar low, southeast Kansas, and look for much of the day on Tuesday, by the way. Not much going on, okay? So this is why we're saying throughout the morning and the afternoon hours, it's going to be relatively dry. You may walk outside on Tuesday, not much going on across the board, okay? What's going to happen is throughout the afternoon and the evening hours, that's when you're going to start seeing the showers, thunderstorms start to get going across the natural state here, okay? And then we're going to show you guys the instability at this point, okay? So this is Tuesday's risk I'm talking to you guys about, and I'm going to talk to you guys about Wednesday as well, okay? So 1,500, 2,000 CAPE across the board on Tuesday, all right? Showers, thunderstorms developing mainly after 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. Same risk applies. A couple of tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail will be the threat on Tuesday here. And then watch this as you get towards Wednesday afternoon. I mean, a widespread area of 2,500 to 3,000 CAPE. There is a lot of instability that's going to be in place for Wednesday here, guys. We are really concerned about Wednesday's potential across the natural state, guys. This is why we're harping you guys so much to stay with us for updates, stay with us, share our posts, everything. Because everything's going to be on the table as we get towards Wednesday, guys. 2,500 to 3,000 CAPE at this point, okay? And then this is going to swing through. You go with the NAM right now. It doesn't go all the way out, but you can see how long it takes for this frontal boundary to push through the area, okay? It takes a forever amount of time for that frontal boundary to kind of push through the natural state. So just kind of keep that in mind at this point, okay? There's a lot of instability that's going to be in place, a lot of wind shear is going to be in place for Wednesday. So before, don't be shocked if you wake up first thing in the morning and Wednesday and it's a moderate risk of Wednesday, okay? Wednesday is the biggest threat at this point. Allison, yes. Answer to your question, that's going to be a yes. Okay. There's a lot of instability that's going to be in place, a lot of shear. Wednesday is going to be the biggest threat, the main event. However, do not let your guard down for tomorrow and Tuesday. That's the number one thing I want to stress to you guys right now. So I know everybody's going to see Wednesday, and they're going to see that big threat, and they're going to be like, okay, Monday and Tuesday, not much going on. Wednesday's a big deal. You got to stay on guard for the next 3 days, guys. Okay, it's going to be, I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be, anxiety ridden. I know a lot of people with storm anxiety. It's going to be really, really rough for you guys next 3 days. But you got to stay updated. You got to stay prepared, guys. I promise you. Because all 3 days, tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all have the potential of seeing severe weather across the natural state. If you have any questions, feel free to inbox us as well here, okay? So, I've had a lot of questions about the PDS wording, and I've addressed this earlier on the last couple of days, but I'm going to talk to you guys about it a little clearer. PDS wording is something that you do not get until day 1, okay? And that's something that you don't see until you're literally right at the event, okay? It's very difficult to get a PDS event. It's very, very difficult. I mean, everything literally has to come together. Everything literally has to come together to get it, okay? Not saying it's not going to happen. I'm not saying it is going to happen, okay? But it takes a lot, a lot to get a PDS event, especially for us here in Arkansas. You got to have a good amount of shear, good amount of directional shear. You got to have a lot of instability. You got to have everything mainly in place for it. Okay, and even then, it's still debatable on if they're going to go through it. I'll just say this: the last couple of events we've had, the tornado outbreaks in the southeast, the tornado outbreak in Texas, none of those events have been PDS. If that tells you anything on how rare the PDS wording is for us here across the area here, they don't use that wording unless they literally have to use that wording here, guys. Also, time maps will be posted on the page as well. Jennifer, yes, we will be live tomorrow. Okay. I promise you guys, this is not going to be our last live stream or anything like that. We will be live for tomorrow, guys. We will be live throughout much of the day tomorrow. Okay, if any warnings go out, you guys know. If you've been here for multiple years, you guys know when severe weather strikes, we're live. Okay, so we're not going anywhere. We will be here for tomorrow here. Okay, I saw that one from Energy. Did they? I'm gonna check that link out real quick. Thank you for sending that, by the way, Boots. I'm going to check that link out real quick and see what the Energy says at this point here, okay? So, as I said before, if you have city, county questions, I'm going to tell you straightforward. And this should answer your question. Everybody's in the same area, okay? Everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's in the same area at this point. No matter where you go, that's where it's going to be, okay? I'm going to take this back a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is Wednesday's threat. 2,500, 3,000 cable, a lot of instability in place. I'm going to zoom this out and show you guys the storm system that we're going to be dealing with here. And I haven't had a chance to fully look at the 12Z NAM because I've been extremely busy today. However, I want to say, based off what I've heard, that it is, give me 1 second, there it is. Okay, so that's 300. Let's go over to 500 real quick. Okay, so there's 500, but 300 tells you the story at this point. Okay, there it is right there, a monster trough coming through Arkansas as we get towards on Wednesday, guys. This has got the makings to be a really bad system for us in the natural state. Negatively tilted, a lot of wind shear in place. That is about a 100-knot negatively tilted trough coming through. That's something you do not want to see for us here across the natural state here. And I see that one question about Wednesday being a tornado outbreak. Brandon, I'm going to be straightforward with you. It wouldn't shock me. It honestly would not shock me. You have a negatively tilted trough, a lot of instability, 3K instability, dry line moving in Arkansas, supercell development. It would not shock me, to be honest with you. That's why I'm saying Wednesday, don't be shocked if you wake up Wednesday, tomorrow morning, and Wednesday ends up being a moderate risk for us here in Arkansas. So, Donna, I see that one question. Can you compare this event to the others? It's still you really can't compare this event to the others. I mean, you could. There's some rivals. I mean, there was one in 2014. There's one in 2017 you can rival it to. But this system is going to be unique in its own way. Also, there's one more caveat about this system I'll tell you guys about here in just a second. But I'm going to go ahead and try to answer as many questions as I physically can before I talk to you guys about what the system's going to do, especially late week and into the weekend here. Okay, so Let me see here. National Service has estimated 2 inches in hailstones. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Tomorrow, don't be shocked if you wake up tomorrow morning, especially for tomorrow's threat. Don't be shocked if it goes enhanced. I mean, the reason why it's not enhanced right now is because the HR has supercells and the high-risk NAM and the other models don't have a thing at all. I mean, computer model guidance is still kind of all over the place for tomorrow here, but I think the HR is doing a better job on trying to forecast tomorrow versus the versus the high-risk NAM at this point here, okay? And also, I see that one comment about fear, stuff like that. Guys, this is not fear-mongering. This is not hype or anything like that. This is us giving you guys information for what we know and telling you guys what we know, okay? We're not in it for the fear-mongering or anything like that. Guys, if y'all think it's fear-mongering, feel free to leave the live stream. Just feel free to leave the live stream. Feel free to leave the page, okay? It's not fear-mongering at this point. This is not hype. This is us giving you guys information on what's going on across the natural state, okay? Be prepared for severe weather. I do agree. I do fully agree. Stay calm. Okay, don't panic or anything like that. I fully agree about that. Okay, you got to have a level head when you're dealing with severe weather. But at the same time, we're not fear-mongering this, guys. Okay, this is not for fear. Okay, this is not for hype. We're not in this for the lights. We're not in it for anything like that, guys. This is us warning you guys about the potential of seeing severe weather across the board here. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Across the board here. Megan, I've studied that event so much. The Arena 2013 setup. I don't want to compare it to this one. I do not want to compare it to that 2013 setup. But I'm gonna watch and see what happens over the next day or so and see what's going on at the time here. Okay, so yeah, there's a big difference. Between fear and preparation, guys. This is just preparing y'all for what's coming up at this point here. And actually, I understand. I completely understand. When you have 3 days of severe weather in one particular time frame, especially with these types of risks, there's always that panic potential. I mean, I'll tell you this. I would be lying to you if me and our other forecasters weren't worried about the next 3 days. Okay? I've had a talk with them too. All right, we're all concerned about the potential of seeing severe weather. We don't show it, but we're all concerned about the potential of seeing severe weather. Okay, it's perfectly okay to be worried. It's perfectly okay to have that worry about severe weather. Okay, but we're gonna get you guys through it, guys. We promise you, we're gonna get you guys through it at this point here. Okay, so before that's what you guys are looking at the storm system right now. Here, we'll answer a few more questions. Bruce, I'm going to check out that link real quick. I got sidetracked for that one comment. I'm going to take a look at that link for a second here. I'm going to see if I can go back to it here. You may have to resend it because Facebook decided to kind of bury that link here. But I'm going to take a look at it real quick. I think they may have sent out something from Energy, but I'm going to take a look at it for just a second here, guys. But yeah, let me see here. Okay, so let me see here. For Wednesday, do you think, that's a great question, do you think it's going to be a straight line wind threat, or is it going to be storms out by themselves? Wednesday is going to be a mix of both. It's going to be a combination of supercells and then a main line that's going to push through on Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening with the cold front. My concern is this. Okay, you're taking a look at now. Let's take a look now for just a second. Okay, you see that negatively took a trough. It's going to be very difficult to get a line from that because you don't have the upscale growth that you need for a line. That's what you get with a neutral or a positively tilted trough here. What you've got going on, let me see if I can draw this out, make it a little bit easier for you guys to understand. Trough's here, okay? Area of low pressure's up here, okay? Your strongest winds is associated just southeast of the low, okay? So what's going on is your storms are moving southwest to northeast. Basically, it's shearing apart the line, if that makes sense. It's separating the line. So whenever you deal with that's why negative tilted troughs are so bad whenever you're dealing with severe weather, because they shear apart lines. They don't create damaging wind threats. They're more notorious for tornado and hail threats versus damaging winds. Don't get me wrong, you can still get a damaging wind threat with a negative tilted trough. It's just extremely difficult to get a damaging wind threat with this. I think it'd still be on the table, but that's the reason why it's so difficult to get it. Now, if it was a neutral trough or a positively tilted trough where your winds are parallel against the front, then yes, I would see this being a damaging wind threat or a low-end tornado threat, stuff like that. But it's negatively tilted, so that means it's shearing apart the storms, it's ripping the storms apart, and it's forcing them to be isolated. There's a lot of perimeter space that goes into it as well. That's why we're looking at more of a supercell threat versus a damaging wind threat. But I think damaging wind threat will come eventually with the line itself pushing through, with the cold front pushing through at this point here. Okay, so let me see here. Let me go back to it. Let me see here. Okay, so you said you reposted it. Let me see here. I'm going through the comments right now here. Yeah, Adam, I'm really worried about that too, guys. I'm very, very concerned about that tornado potential as we get towards that Wednesday time frame here, guys. And like I said, don't sleep in those other 2 days either. Monday and Tuesday will definitely be there as well here. Boots, I see the energy link, but you sent me one earlier that had like another link, like an announcement. Let me see if I can take a look at that real quick at this point. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, let me take a look at this real quick. I'm taking a look at this right now because there was something that he posted. They posted in the chat. Let me see here. Go over everything at this point. Okay. Okay. Yeah. If you send me that link, I'll take a look at it at this point. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. I got you. Okay. Gotcha. All right. I see it now. All right. So they're just worried. Okay. All right. I see it now. Thank you for that, by the way. Let me see, I'm going to go a few more questions here, and then I said I'll show you guys what that trough is going to do. Dustin, yeah, that's the number one thing about this. I have a lot of people that have asked me, in person or on Facebook, it's just going to be a high risk on Wednesday. I'm going to tell you this right now. A moderate is enough. I mean, enhanced risk right now, it could be an enhanced risk, and that'll be more than enough. You don't need a high risk to take this seriously. This could easily, I've seen moderate risk. You guys saw the moderate risk out there in the southeast that produced that tornado outbreak. Okay, you don't need a high risk to take these storm systems seriously, guys. It's definitely going to be on the table at this point here. Could y'all do a map of who's in the River Valley, who's in Central? Russellville is more River Valley versus Central Arkansas. Basically, the River Valley is kind of going from like Fort Smith down to just west of Conway at this point here. It's like right along Interstate 40. You're in the River Valley region versus Central Arkansas here. Okay, so I hope it answered your question. Let me see here. So power outage potential, yeah, I would see that if this was going to be mainly a damaging wind threat. We will have to watch for that power outage potential, especially what happens with the line itself on Wednesday. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at that real quick with the NAM model real quick. And I think NAM model is doing a great job with this, by the way, with showing Wednesday at this point. So let me go over to this real quick. And also, I appreciate y'all for staying with me, guys. I am trying to get to questions as much as possible, but I really appreciate almost 500 viewers on this live stream. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all. Okay, so low here, another low here, but notice something. I'm seeing something with the NAM at this point. Notice something. This is not a line that's coming through. You notice the line segments with the NAM. Okay, basically those line segments are going to be what's called semi-linear storms. That are going to be those clusters of storms that are going to develop that you'll have to watch, and then the supercell mode. So it's kind of a mix of both at this point here. Definitely worthy of an enhanced risk or even a moderate risk at this point if you were to go with the NAM model here. And I can take a look at the Euro as well here. Okay, so yeah, December 10th did not start off as a moderate risk. December 10th was an actual enhanced risk up there in northeastern Arkansas, and it ended up a moderate risk like the day of. I mean, it was a day of moderate risk, like right there at lunch. So just like I said before, guys, don't wait for it to go moderate, don't wait for it to go high risk or anything like that. Take it seriously, guys. Don't just wait for it to be anything higher than enhanced risk. And enhanced risk is more than enough at this point. Okay, I know there's a lot of people throwing the PDS wording around at this point. Okay, PDS stands for particularly dangerous situation. Said before, don't focus on that wording. I know there's an enhanced risk. I know there's been talks and stuff like that. I haven't even been on my personal Facebook, and I could tell you there's probably news feeds of people spreading around the PDS wording. Guys, don't focus on PDS wording, okay? Regular severe weather, keep that in mind, okay? Extremely difficult to get a PDS set up here. Could this event do it? I'm not saying no, and I'm not saying yes, okay? However, don't focus on that wording too much, okay? So, which days should Central Arkansas be concerned? All 3 days. All three. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All 3 days, okay? I will say for our folks in southeastern Arkansas, for Monday's event, you should be good. That depends on what storms do. But I will say Tuesday's event you'll have to watch, and definitely on Wednesday, guys, okay? But rest of the natural state, all 3 days. If you're in a risk for severe weather, you need to be concerned about it. You need to be prepared at this point here, okay? Dustin, I cannot preach that comment a million times. They do not care about risk areas. We've seen it time and time again. Look what happened in northwestern Arkansas, the Springdale EF3 tornado in a slight risk, 5% toward. We've seen multiple tornadoes happen in a marginal risk. We've seen it happen in a slight risk. They don't care about risk areas. You can get severe weather in a marginal risk, okay? As I said before, okay, that PDS wording, so forth, don't worry about the PDS wording, guys. At this point here, rainfall predictions, okay? Rainfall, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. This is going to be one event that you do not have to worry about the heavy rain potential too much, okay? Now, I will say, if you get a setup where storms train over the same area, then it could lead to a localized flooding threat, but the potential of significant widespread flash flooding is very, very low for this event. That's the number one thing you need to be worried about, because if the flooding threat's low, then you deal with supercells. You deal with supercells, then you deal with the tornado threat, okay? So the flooding threat with this one is lower compared to the last couple of events, but we've had a line basically come through or stall out or something like that here. Localized flooding can still be possible, but the significant flooding event, I don't think you're going to have that with this event here, guys. I think you're going to have probably more of a supercell and a semi-linear mode here. Basically, it's like little clusters of storms that you'll have to deal with across the area here. We have to travel from Russellville to Little Rock tomorrow in the morning. You should be good to go, Courtney. What part of Arkansas is so for? Don't focus on that PDS wording, guys. Okay, I'm going to preach that a million times over the next 3 days. Do not focus on that PDS wording, okay? Do not focus on that PDS wording at this point. Don't focus on it. Be prepared for the potential of seeing severe weather across the area here. Kim, thank you very much. So before I appreciate that comment, and that's the one thing, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that, guys. This is us preparing y'all for the potential of seeing severe weather across the area. And that goes for the next 3 days, by the way. Gina, great comment. I meant to both. I'm just gonna put it like that. Tomorrow's event definitely needs to be watched. I'm really concerned about tomorrow's event. You got a boundary in Arkansas, dry line set up to the west, area of low pressure in Oklahoma. That's where you're gonna have to watch for tomorrow. Tuesday's event, shortwave comes out from the southwest. You're gonna have to watch it. Wednesday, the entire system comes at us, and with 2,000 to 3,000 K definitely on the table. I would say that comment I meant to both. I hope that answered your question here. Okay, not comparing it to the 2014 outbreak, guys. So before, I know a lot of people are worried about the next 3 days here. Okay, stay with us. Stay prepared. Okay. Review your severe weather plans here. There's a reason why we've been preaching this for the last week. We've been trying to keep everybody informed for the last week. It basically went on deaf ears over the last couple of days. Okay, that's why we were trying to inform you guys so much over the last couple of days here, because of the fact that we knew what was coming. We knew the next 3 days was going to be chaos. So stay with us, guys. Have a severe weather plan ready to go. Tonight's a great night to sit down with your family and come up with a severe weather plan. Talk to your family tonight during dinner. Talk to them, okay? Have a plan ready to go. Don't wait for severe weather to happen to make a plan. Have a plan ready to go at this point here, okay? So, let me see here. Okay, so what is best to do overnight? Now, here's the thing. You're not going to see a lot of overnight with this, okay? Also, we will have chasers, by the way, if you guys haven't already. Can one of my forecasters that are on this live stream, tag the Arkansas Storm Hunters YouTube link. We need to get that up to 1,000. That way we can go live on that YouTube, guys. One of y'all tag that in the link. Go subscribe to that immediately, guys. We need to get to 1,000. I think we were almost there But we will have chasers out over the next 3 days here, giving you guys information and showing you guys what's going on across the board here. Okay, so yeah, know your safe place ahead of time. Stay informed. Okay, but like I said before, I'm not expecting this to be an overnight threat. This is not going to be anything overnight. This is all going to be during the afternoon, during the evening hours. Everybody should be aware and alert for that time frame here. I don't think this is going to be an overnight threat at all. I'm not expecting anything overnight. Now, I will say this. On Tuesday evening and into the Tuesday overnight, you may deal with it in eastern Arkansas. We will have to wait and see. But I think in eastern Arkansas, those storms will start dying off as you get towards the overnight hours, because you lose your instability across the area. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind for that. But I'm not expecting this to be an overnight threat at all. This is going to be an afternoon and evening. So that means everybody be prepared. Everybody should be aware, alert, be ready to go for the next 3 days, guys. Okay. Let me see here. Dustin, thank you so much for your comments, man. We really do appreciate it. At this point, if y'all have any more questions, please let me know. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get to everybody's question, because I know there's a lot of people worried over the next couple of days here. Okay, so let me see here. Have your phones ready. A great app to download, by the way, is Code Red. They give you a great amount of alerts and accurate timing across the board here. Okay, so that's a really good app that I like to use personally whenever you deal with severe weather here. Okay, so Brandon, yeah, definitely. Nice so forward. That PDS wording, man, I don't like using it unless I literally have to use it. In this event, it's very debatable at this point. Adam, debatable. Very, very debatable at this point here. That is very, very debatable. You can, like I said, you can compare this to some of the outbreaks we've had in the past. The 2011s, the 2014s. You can compare it to 1997. It's a powerful system. You can make a lot of analogs for this system. The thing is that this system is going to be unique in its own way. It's not going to go right off the mold of every event we've had in the past. It's going to be unique in its own way. But you can definitely compare it to the events we've had in the past, guys. If y'all go subscribe to that YouTube, I fully appreciate y'all for doing that. We will, if y'all enjoy chasing and stuff like that, we will have our team out there chasing at this point here. Okay, so let me see here. I'm trying to go over every question I see. Let me see. Okay. All right. So let me see here. Okay, I think I answered that one. Okay. Yeah, Sharon, I see your comment, by the way. 1 to 2 inches of rain for the next 3 days. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. While I have you guys here, I'm going to see if I can go over here and show you guys the totals here. So it's going to be, let me see if I can get this up and going over here. 1 second. I'm going to show you guys the precipitation total. There it is. All right, so precipitation total, if you go with NAM, okay, that's why I'm saying that the precipitation amount is not going to be a lot. Some localized areas may see a little bit higher, but generally ½ an inch to an inch of rainfall across the board. Okay, that's why we're so worried about the supercell potential over the next couple of days here, because your rainfall amounts are not that high. It's maybe ½ an inch to an inch of rainfall across the area here. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so I know April 2014 was a major outbreak. Do you see that happening too early to say that this is going to be a major outbreak? Okay, this threat for significant severe weather is definitely on the table. Okay, like I said before, don't focus on the 2014s, don't focus on the 2017s or the 2011s and stuff like that. Okay, don't focus on that. All right, focus on the fact that this is a powerful system. It's capable of producing significant severe weather, and that's everything you need to know. Okay, don't focus on the past. Don't focus on those past events. I know, as before, you can compare it. Definitely compare it. You can definitely compare it to those events. But will it be like those events? Who knows at this point here, guys. Okay, that's all I can say at that point here. But be prepared for severe weather. Okay, so I missed the beginning, Jessica. You can rewind the live stream. But for those areas, I would say tomorrow. That is going to be for probably 5, 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow, going into tomorrow evening and tomorrow night here. Should be done by the overnight hours at this point here. Okay, and it's Code Red. One of my forecasts, if y'all are on there, kind of answer that question. You may have to tap the app with that as well here. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, April, great comment. Okay, if you're in a mobile home, this is my advice to you guys. If you're in a mobile home, what I would do tonight, particularly tonight, what I would do is see if you have any like any like a gas station or a grocery store or something like that in place. Okay, keep that in mind for the next day or so. Okay, a mobile home is not going to be the best place you want to be for severe weather, especially this magnitude. Okay, not saying a mass evacuation or anything like that here, but if a warning goes out, know what to do. Okay, map out your potential areas you can go if a tornado warning happens in your area and you're in a mobile home, like a Walmart or a gas station, somewhere with a sturdy building. Okay, you can even go outside. If that's not an option, you can go outside and see if there's any ditches or anything like that that you could potentially take shelter. But you do not want to be in a mobile home whenever severe weather strikes, because that's the first place that goes. Okay, so try to map out those areas over probably tonight to be a good night to do it. Kind of map out those areas. Say, hey, I'm in a mobile home. Do we have like a Walmart nearby or a gas station nearby? Something better than a mobile home. That way, if a tornado warning goes out, and you guys know we're going to be on top of it. If a tornado warning goes out, we're going to give you guys at least 10-20 minutes heads up before it even impacts you. Take that action. Say, hey, I know where to go. Go from there. That's the best thing we can do at this point here, guys. But so before, to kind of reiterate everything, the potential of severe weather is on the table for the next 3 days. Wednesday looks to be the main event. Do not sleep on that Monday and Tuesday threat at this point here, guys. Okay, stay with us over the next couple of days here. The tornado threat, the large hail threat, and the damaging wind threat will be there over the next 3 days at this point here. Okay, so same thing if you live in a camper or stuff like that. I know a lot of people, especially this time of year, go camping. That's the best thing I would tell you guys to do. Okay, find a Walmart. Try to map out the area you are. And also, Eden, great point. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to inbox us. Okay, feel free to message us, guys. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, and that's why we do this, guys. We keep you guys informed of what's going on. Okay, stay with us, guys, over the next couple of days here. But what you're seeing on the map right now is the total precipitation. This is not severe weather related. This is rainfall related across the board. Okay, now we're gonna go back to. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go back to our map here. Give me 1 second, and we'll talk to you guys about tomorrow. Okay, so this is tomorrow's thread. I'm going to go over the risk areas one more time so you guys can have a visualization of what to expect. Okay, the slight risk is still in place, but I want to stress something about that slight risk. Do not let your guard down for this. Okay, I know it's a low threat. 5% TOR is very low, but the boundary in place, dry line to the west, airflow pressure developing. Do not let your guard down for tomorrow, folks. Okay, stay with us. I cannot rule out, probably in this area, I would say, and we'll draw it out, probably within this area here, I would say the enhancers is probably going to be right here. I would say probably right here. If trends continue this evening and into tonight, I would say your enhancers is probably going to be somewhere in this area at this point. That will probably go for either the hail threat or the tornado threat for tomorrow. It depends on what happens with the boundary. Area of low pressure sets up right here. Do we get thunderstorm development tomorrow and stuff like that? Okay, that's the area of concern that we'll have to watch. And you notice something, what we call the triple point setup. Low pressure here, okay? Basically, that's your triple point setup at this point. Triple point setup going right over central Arkansas at this point. So that will probably be your enhanced risk area if they decide to do it. What's going on, I said before, right now, there's a lot of computer model disagreement. There's a lot of disagreement models right now. Hey, you go HRR, supercells all over the place. You go NAM, hardly anything at all. So you can't put an enhanced risk if you have all that disagreement right now here. Enhanced risk is a confidence area on, hey, this is the amount of confidence we're seeing. We're seeing a good amount of agreement per computer model, guys. That's where we're going to have to watch at this point. Okay, so let me see here. The best way, there you go. The best way to prepare for severe weather is to pay attention to the weather. That's the great comment, guys. Very, very great comment. Stay with us over the next couple of days here, okay? Let me see here. Do I need to prepare to go to our community shift the next 3 days? Natalie, yes. Have that mindset that if a tornado warning happens, go to the shelters. Have that mindset. That's a really good mindset to have, especially when you're dealing with severe weather. Even if it's a low threat, if it's a slight risk or anything like that. Have that mindset ready to go, guys. Be prepared to take a tornado shelter. Be prepared to seek shelter from severe weather over the next 3 days here, okay? Keep that in mind across the board, all right? So this is Monday. This is tomorrow's threat that you're looking at, all right? Here's Wednesday across the board. I'm going to go back to Tuesday here in just a second, but here's Wednesday, all right? This will start mainly after 12 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay, the potential significant severe weather is on the table across much of Arkansas. Much of Arkansas is the enhanced risk. Northwest Arkansas is in the slight risk. Tornadoes, large hail, potentially very large hail as well on Wednesday. We'll have to watch and see what happens with the dry air and stuff like that, but that would definitely be on the table. And then a damaging wind threat for Wednesday as well here, okay? I fully anticipate Wednesday to go moderate risk. I'm fully anticipating it across the board. Keep that in mind over the next day or so. Don't be shocked. You wake up in the morning, Wednesday is a moderate, okay? Even if they don't go moderate, they keep it in enhanced risk. Take it seriously, guys. Don't wait for the moderates. Don't wait for the high risk. Take this seriously, guys, okay? Please take this seriously across the board. I know there's a lot of information thrown at you guys. This is the reason why we were trying to harp so much last week on trying to prepare you guys for severe weather here, okay? Be prepared for severe weather for the next 3 days, guys, okay? Feel free to inbox us, guys. Tomorrow's timing after 5 o'clock in the evening. We will have localized timing coming up across the board. How long this is going to last on Wednesday? This is going to last throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours on Wednesday. A moderate risk on Wednesday, and I will say this. If you go with the NAM, and I'm going to take a quick look at the Euro for just a second here. It won't let me draw here for some odd reason. But if you were to go with the NAM, and I'm taking a look at the Euro as well here, okay? By the way, Euro for tomorrow is really, really bad. And then Tuesday night, it has the same thing across western Arkansas here. And then what happens is, there it is right there, okay? On Wednesday, I say probably go for probably a good part of the state, to be honest with you. Negatively tilted trough, instability really up there. I say a blend of both. The Euro and the NAM right now here, I'm kind of disregarding the GFS right now because I think GFS is a little bit too fast with this system on Wednesday. If I don't see, okay, take that back. Never mind. It's actually slowed down from where it was here. But I would say, yeah, it would probably go for much of the natural state at this point. I think it probably mainly focused from central to eastern Arkansas down to southern Arkansas, given the fact that you'll be dealing with this during the afternoon. But that still waits to be seen, guys. It depends on when this system it jets out. I've seen computer model guidance go as late as 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening for the system to jet out, and we don't deal with it until then. If that happens, you will definitely see a big time moderate risk across the area, okay? Step 4, don't focus on moderates, don't focus on high risk. Even if it stays enhanced, even if they don't even bother with the moderate or high risk over the next 2 days, and it stays enhanced for the entire event, take it seriously, guys. It is still going to be on the table here, but this has been an enhanced risk since yesterday. I'm fully expecting this to go moderate risk with the next, I would say, next day or so at this point, okay? I know most schools, most businesses, they have their own tornado plans, by the way, and I know, by the way, I want to stress this too. Most of this is going to be happening during the afternoon into the evening. That's prime time for jobs, for people getting off work. That's prime time for school. I want to stress this now. If a tornado warning happens at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, do not attempt to go to pick up your kid from school. Do not attempt to go pick up your kid from school. I'm stressing this right now because of the fact that schools have their own tornado plan in action. Okay, if a tornado warning happens, your kid's in school, they have their safe rooms. They have a plan ready to go for that potential. Do not try to go pick up your kid from school. Don't do it, okay? Because that's putting yourself at risk for being outside doing severe weather, okay? Don't do it. Stay at home. Take your tornado precautions. So for most schools, most businesses, they have a tornado safe plan. They have a plan ready to go for that potential, okay? This is coming in during the afternoon and evening. That's why I'm stressing that so much, okay? Keep that in mind. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Don't put yourself at risk like that, okay? They have their own plans ready to go at this point, okay? So what time is this going to start? So for tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m., okay? That's when it's going to start tomorrow, going into the evening. Same thing on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, mainly after 12 o'clock. Pay attention to our graphics, by the way, as well. Don't just skim and read. Pay attention to our graphics. They're going to have timing information. They're going to have reporting information, especially on that right-hand side of the graphic, guys. There's a lot of information that's on that side. Take a look at the graphics. Don't just skim and share. Actually read it. Go over it. It's going to have a lot of information on there as well, okay? But yeah, Don't do it, guys. Please do not do it at this point, guys, okay? And that's the one thing I was worried about. I was going to mention at the beginning of this live stream. Don't do it, guys. If you're in school, don't do it, okay? Same thing goes for the nursing homes, etc. Don't do it at this point, okay? All right, let me see here, okay? Okay, so Walmart, yes, definitely, yeah, Walmart's in a safe place to go across the board here. That's a really, really safe place for Walmart across the board here. Yeah, great comment, by the way. I saw that, Lisa. Keep your phones charged as well. When is it going to hit South Arkansas? This is going to be during the evening and the overnight hours. Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday it's going to be probably 5, 6 o'clock down there in southern Arkansas. Tomorrow's risk will probably north to South Arkansas at this point. It's going to be primarily central, northern, and northeastern Arkansas tomorrow. Tuesday is mainly going to be for much of the natural state here. Kind of goes through western and the southern Arkansas and in central Arkansas at this point, okay? Don't worry, we will have information at this point, okay? So am I saying don't go to school? I'm not saying don't go to school, okay? You can still go to school and stuff like that. Just be prepared. Like I said before, those schools, they have a tornado plan in place, okay? If you decide to keep your kid at home, that's perfectly fine. You know, everybody has their own judgment. If you decide to do that, that's perfectly okay too. But at the same time, be assured that schools have their own plan. They have their own ready to go safe plan for tornadoes if that happens. Okay, and one more thing I want you guys to know as well. Don't focus on just tornado threat either. You got to deal with the large hail and damaging wind threat with this as well here. There's a lot of information I'm trying to get out to you guys right now here. Regarding power outages, I would say power outages right now, next 2 days shouldn't be too big of a problem depending on where the storms develop. It shouldn't be a widespread deal. It's going to be more of a localized, isolated deal. Wednesday, wait and see. What is going to be our storm mode on Wednesday? Are we going to be dealing with a line, or are we going to be dealing with supercells? That will be the biggest question for that potential. But I would say localized and isolated for right now. But before, it just depends on where the storms occur, guys. We can't predict on where the power outages are going to occur. We can't do that, guys. Okay. But I would definitely have a plan ready to go. Lisa, that's a great point. Okay. Don't do it. Okay. If there's a tornado warning, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're trying to go get the kids from school, don't do it. Okay. Stay at the house. Take your own tornado precautions if that occurs. Okay. Nocturnal tornado threat. I don't see much of a nocturnal tornado threat. Now, tomorrow night, different story, because it is going to go in the evening, and it is going to try to make a run for the overnight hours here. But if you're talking about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning tornado warnings, I'm not expecting it with this system. It's just not going to happen with this one. This one's going to be an old, I'll put it like this. This is going to be an old school severe weather event for us here in Arkansas, where we got it during the afternoon and evening instead of getting it at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be one of those old school severe weather events here in the natural state. And Elizabeth, the next live stream, I'm going to try to do one tonight maybe. I may do one tonight. I'm not sure yet. Depends on the energy level and stuff like that, and where we're standing in terms of everything else. But I say if you don't have one by tonight, definitely we'll have one first thing in the morning. You'll have one at lunch tomorrow, and then you will have one if any warnings go out tomorrow as well here, guys. But don't rely on just live streams either. On the page, all the information is going to be on the page as well here, okay? But don't worry, guys. We will be here, okay? So it's tomorrow's health. Let's talk about tomorrow real quick while we have everybody still here. And I'm going to hop off of here, guys, and go back to posting on the page here. So I'm going to switch this back over, and I'm going to show you guys the health threat, okay? So here's the health threat for tomorrow, okay? There's a health threat right in here from Fayetteville to Fort Smith to Mena to Texarkana to Little Rock. That's classic I-30, by the way. Classic I-30, I-40 setup if you're a storm chaser. Fayetteville to Batesville to Hazen to Texarkana. This area in here goes for the potential of significant hail, okay? Keep that in mind. Dustin, 4 hours of sleep at max, especially when severe weather strikes. But anyways, this is the area of concern for the potential to see significant hail for them all. That's 2-inch in diameter hail or plus at this point, okay? That's significant large hail at this point across this area, all right? Now, keep this in mind as well here. You have a tornado threat that goes with it as well. There's a tornado threat at this point, okay? From a storm chaser's perspective, for me, I call this the 5% magic for a reason, okay? 5% magic across the area. That's the reason why we call it that, because you can get tornadoes in a 2% or a 5%. Keep that in mind at this point here. Lisa, Gina, thank you for getting that question. But anyways, this is a tornado threat for tomorrow here. Right now, it's a 5%. Once we get a definite idea on where storm mode is going to be and where the storm initiation is going to be, etc., I can't rule out a 10. I can't rule it out, but I wouldn't focus if this thing goes 10 or not. Keep in mind that this is a 5% low risk at this point here with a hatched tornado threat, that kind of, not hatched tornado threat, hatched wind, hail threat, excuse me, that runs just like this. Okay, so this is the area of concern for tomorrow here. Basically in this area here for significant hail. The tornado threat and hail threat still continues over here in northeastern Arkansas tomorrow. So forth. I'm going to repeat this, make this crystal clear for tomorrow. After 5 p.m. Okay, after 5 p.m. tomorrow is going to be your timing. And repeat that. After 5 p.m. tomorrow evening will be your time frame for tomorrow. Okay, keep that in mind. After 5 p.m. We'll draw it on here. Mind my drawing, by the way. After 5 p.m. I would say, let's say this. 5 to 11 p.m. tomorrow across this area, across the entire area that you see. Okay, this is the time frame for tomorrow here. Once we get a better idea on where these storms are actually going to develop, etc., we'll have localized timing. But right now, there's still a lot of uncertainty on where thunderstorms are going to develop. Right now, you go HR, it's going to be right here. You go NAM, hardly not much at all. As a matter of fact, I can check that here in just a second here. But you get the drift for tomorrow here, okay? After 5 p.m. tomorrow is going to be your time frame, okay? See here, okay? All right, I think that's okay. Should we expect anything tonight here? Now, I will say for tonight, I can back this up and we can talk about tonight's risks. I know the last 3 days have been kind of throwing away today's risk, but there is a low end, very, very low end tornado threat up here in northwestern Arkansas for tonight here, okay? Let's go back over to the categorical risk. This is for tonight, by the way. Slight risk up here in northwestern Arkansas, marginal here, okay? The majority of this is going to be up here in Missouri, northeastern Oklahoma, and southeastern Kansas. That's where the majority of this risk is going to be. But I can't rule out some storms coming out of northeastern Oklahoma and kind of riding into northwestern Arkansas. There is a low-end tornado threat. There is a low-end hail threat as well. It's a very low-end threat for today. However, I would still watch it across the board here. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind at this point here. But most of these storms will be moving in this fashion from southwest to northeast, mainly going into Missouri. But if any warnings come out tonight, we will be here. Okay, so this is going to be primarily, by the way, like same time for tomorrow, probably 5, 6 o'clock in the evening at this point. Okay, so that's the area of concern for today. Slight risk across northwestern Arkansas, and then as said before, the area for tomorrow. Much of the area is in risk. Okay, this is tomorrow. Okay, all right, so that's tomorrow's risk. Slight risk across the area. Then day 3, this is Tuesday's risk. Okay, you notice something here. There's an enhanced risk further to the west. This is where the majority of the severe weather is going to occur on Tuesday, excuse me, okay? But I would still watch much of Arkansas for Tuesday. Don't let your guard down here in Arkansas on Tuesday. But the majority should be from Texas. And by the way, if you know anybody out here, give them a heads up too. All right, from northeast Texas to eastern Oklahoma to western Kansas up into. So let's show you how massive this risk is, by the way, okay? Show you how massive this risk is if it's going to let me do it. That's how massive this enhanced risk is at this point, guys. It goes from Dallas to Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, this is a massive, massive risk for seeing severe weather for tomorrow. As a matter of fact, if you bear me for just a bit, I can actually show you guys on how massive this this area is. So I'm gonna put this back in full screen for just a second. Okay, show you how massive this this area is. So that's from Dallas all the way up to Des Moines. That is a 600-mile plus enhanced risk across the area. Okay, that's a over 600-mile enhanced risk for Tuesday. Your slight risk from southern Minnesota all the way down to southern Texas. That is almost a 1,000-mile slight risk for Tuesday, guys. This is a massive system that you're dealing with. It's a a massive system across the board here. If you want to be actually technical for the entire site, for the entire severe risk itself, it goes from central Minnesota all the way down to the Gulf Coast. That is more than 1,200 miles of difference between this area here. This is how massive this risk is across the board here. Okay, guys, please keep that in mind here. So if you know anyone from southern Minnesota to the Gulf Coast, this is the area of concern for the potential of seeing severe weather across the area here, guys. Okay, we will continue to keep you guys updated. We're not going anywhere, guys. Stay with us. We'll keep you guys informed. I promise you. Okay, tonight, if I don't do a live stream, it's gonna be a video. It's probably gonna be like a premiere video or something like that tonight to kind of give you guys like a little bit more information if anything comes up. Okay, but we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.